Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the X First Global channel. It's great to see you again. Today, we're back with another XRP or Ripple update. Very quickly, before we get into the analysis, I want to let everyone know that going forward, we're gonna be working on a schedule so that everyone has something to look forward to every week here on YouTube. This means that we're going to be rolling out videos only on Mondays and Thursdays, so that I'll be doing one Bitcoin video on Monday and one video on Thursday that's going to be reserved for an altcoin of my choice. And this week is going to be XRP or Ripple, as you can see here, because we are at an interesting spot. So with that being said, the video analysis doesn't have to stop there. If you want to see more content, I'm proud to announce our separate from our Discord membership, an easier way to access more material for X First Global, more specifically the video analysis from our Patreon membership. I have divided it into 3 different tiers. Each tier, depending on your specific needs, is going to be catered towards everyone's needs, basically. So if you have found value in my in-depth Bitcoin videos, this may be a perfect time to join the Patreon membership, as I will be uploading Bitcoin videos every Monday on YouTube. And with each consecutive tier, for example, tier 1, you'll be getting one midweek analysis on Wednesdays, and starting from our tier 2, you'll be gaining access to another video at the end of the week on Fridays, pretty much giving you an all-around analysis over the course of the week that could help you give some more comfort as price action develops throughout the week. Now, this also gives you the unlock feature to my live streams starting from tier 2, where you will be gaining access to live streams on days of volatility or important days that I deem appropriate for the markets. So I am also preparing to open up a YouTube membership program like many others are doing that will be structured pretty much the same with our Patreon, giving you the same access. But for now, we're going to be sticking with Patreon for the time being for organizational purposes. Now, remember, this is completely different from our Discord membership, where this is more focused on the actual charts and no restrictions on timely updates. I update the Discord on a daily basis, basically, and that also gives you everything without a video analysis. So for those that are interested in the actual Discord membership, I have that operated since 2018. So that is also in the description below with a link, as well as the Patreon membership. So if you're interested in more Bitcoin analysis and more in-depth videos throughout the week as price action develops, this is a perfect time to also consider joining the Patreon membership. Now, remember, we'll be also trying to open up the membership for YouTube as well. But since that is a little bit of a hassle right now with time restrictions, I'll be going back into that possibly in the next month or 2. So for now, Patreon is going to be the only way that you're going to be gaining access to more video content. So please do consider that if you do find value out of these videos. Now, back into the analysis, as I have said, Bitcoin, or XRP rather, is at an interesting, very important spot. We are now retesting what is known as the BD trend line of a larger possible triangle that is working as a sideways structure mode of correction pattern for this wave 3-4 of the primary degree, and we are now expecting a possible primary wave 5 to the upside based on the measurement of the post triangle thrust measurement that is going to be giving us a target of around $6 to $10 with no real conservative in-betweens. In my opinion, this is the conservative target. I think a solid $10 is going to be an excellent target if this triangle is still in play, and it seems like this triangle is something that is being eyed on, not just from an Elliott analyst perspective, but from a general market perspective as well. Now, with that being said, this BD trend line is now being retested, and that is the very important aspect of how this is going to be continuing forward and also validating a breakout of the triangle. I believe it will be a very swift and thrust movement going to the upside, which is not my words. This is directly from the Elliott Wave principle and how Elliott has visioned the observation after a triangle has completed. This means that this should technically, based on the theory, be a violent breakout. And if the news or some kind of news happens on a wave E, which is sometimes pretty typical after a wave E, that is also mentioned in the principle of the Elliott Wave Theory, that means that this can also help boost it and break out. So if a lot of attention comes into XRP in the news or some kind of fundamental aspect, or maybe the social media is going to find interest in this overall triangle, that is also part of the news that can help boost this possible breakout of this BD trend line. So this BD trend line, like I've said, ladies and gentlemen, is completely valid as long as we do break above this subwave D. And again, the invalidation of this triangle is going to be below this subwave C. So we're at a very, very great spot. We had a 60% move since our last video, but now we're at a 70% or so move off of the lows. We were expecting a move off these lows after we had a completion of a 5-wave move. We'll zoom in just a moment for the shorter time frames, but this BD trend line is now being retested for the 4th time, and the more times you retest a trend line is gonna be a very important aspect in terms of the psychological breakout of whether it's gonna be a breakout or not. So again, this wave 4, this 7 to 8 year accumulation on XRP is a very, very important breakout for all XRP holders, including me, ladies and gentlemen. It's not financial advice. This is just what I'm seeing and what I'm envisioning in terms of the overall targets. So this is going to be a very, very important breakout for the price action. Anything below this is going to be pretty violent, in my opinion. I think it'll be the end of XRP's bull run entirely. We'll see another multi-year bear market possibly happening, and it'll be the most disappointing coins. And all the people that are haters for XRP are going to be celebrating. Yay! That XRP is now deemed as a horrible coin, right? So if that's the case, we're looking for 3 waves for each specific subwave being created for this ABCE, and I'm sure you guys all know, it sounds like a broken record player. We all have that kind of requirements being met. We have the WXY for this wave A. Remember, triangles can only have one complex correction within them, so we've already exhausted that one WXY, so the rest has to be simple idealized zigzags or ABCs, and that means this is an ABC, 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 and an ABC respectively for that final subwave E. And this breakout alone, breaking back above this resistance, now is turning into support. This next resistance is going to be a key important zone. So this BD trend line, this move here, a breakout here, now we're going to be retesting the horizontal lines of resistances. We got 2 horizontal resistances here, and then we have 1 major horizontal resistance of the all-time high that we created in 2023. That was also based on the SEC fundamental news. That's why we saw a very strong wild swing within the price action here. And with that being said, due to the wild swings that we've had for XRP, this also brings us into the possibility of a different count with those wild swings taken into consideration, meaning that everything can also be seen as a nested structure. Now, XRP has one of those very few observations that is completely different in price action from other coins, meaning that we are observing the possibility, based on those SEC fundamental news and these wild swings, a leading expanding diagonal. Now, these leading expanding diagonals are very tricky, but they're very interesting to play because in hindsight, they can give you a different opportunity in terms of how you can be building your wave 1s or wave A's going forward. So what that means is, as long as you're pertaining to the rules of the Elliott Wave principle of these skylines and rules for these expanding diagonal variations, although they are very rare, XRP does have that one exception because, remember, Elliott Wave Theory is based on the observations, and based on those observations, we create that wave based on those observations. And that's why we have what is known as the wave theory observation for these different subwave counts, right? So if that's the case, we have this possible primary wave 1, 2 that is now complete either as an ABC or some kind of WXY, but I have this. There's so many ways we can count this move here down, but it is very, very identifiable as a 3-wave move of some sort, whether you identify this as the bottom or here or not, but I've identified this as a truncated 5th for the wave C of this ABC. Now, the reason why is because this also was a very interesting point within XRP's milestone for the SEC case. We've seen the wild run up and wild pullbacks, just like we saw for XRP back over here with that same SEC case. As you can see the pump that we had over here back in July of 2023 of last year. Can't believe it's already 1 year past for this intermediate degree wave 1 in orange. And this pump up was based on the conclusion or at least some kind of resolution to the SEC case, XRP in favor. And because of that, we saw the same type of identifiable leading expanding diagonal that we saw for this larger move over here when we saw the major delistings happening and all of that bad news happening. That was one major wild swing. Same thing on a more minuscule scale. And again, this 1-2 cycle is now being complete. We're working for that cycle degree wave 3, which is extremely high. Now this, I'm not sure if this is possible, but it is interesting because there are a lot of in-betweens that fit into the narrative. But again, at the end result, having an XRP at $40 per ripple is pretty it's pretty undeniable that it's a very too ambitious of a target, right? But nevertheless, as long as you have the hybrid waves intact, meaning that this wave 3 of the intermediate degree, if we're working on it, is also aligning with that possibility of that triangle target. So we can take that conservative target of that wave 3 idea, and that could also be helping us kind of confirm that this triangle idea is going to be concluding as well. So this may be a very profitable taking zone, meaning that markets are expected to take profits along the way no matter what, but this may be an ultimate target zone of that $10 straight on even point where we might see a major rejection. So even from those levels from here of the breakout of the triangle, that's already a 1,400% gain, right? That may not seem possible, but it is possible, ladies and gentlemen. Even from these levels of XRP, when it was trading less than a cent, we saw this pump 1,800%. Can that do the same thing? Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing stopping XRP right now. A lot of people talking about the market cap when it was trading over here. A lot of people are talking about the market cap over here. But XRP, without a doubt, is accumulating no matter what. So if you have a mix of fundamentals and the technicals, of course, you're going to have some drawbacks in terms of how you can validate these ideas. But overall, we're still looking for this wave 5 to complete because this is an 8-year accumulation, which is so important when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Accumulation is the number one thing that you want to be looking for. And again, XRP is one of the few coins that hasn't broken a major low. These other dinosaur coins other than ADA or Cardano has created a new low on its new regional multi-year low being broken. Like EOS, for example, has broken its multi-year support. XRP is still showing strength. So if anything, EOS is the one that should be a highlighted coin that is considered a shit coin, right? So going forward, I think that this is going to be playing out. Now let's dive into the shorter time frames a little bit and see where we're at. Like I said, all of the scenarios do lead us into the same idea of this being a corrective move, whether you're seeing this as a 1-2 or the end of the subwave E of a triangle. But I'm sure you guys are interested in how this next move up is going to be playing and where the next efficient level of a possible buy-in is possible, right? So we do have the ABC completed here. Nothing to report on that. We had this 5-wave move here. A little bit odd here because this 5th wave is also a leading an ending expanding diagonal, which is very, you see what I'm talking about? There are so many overlaps within XRP's price action. That's the only way we can kind of assume XRP's price action. These diagonals are very, very interesting, right? So with that being said, if we zoom in a little bit further, it seems like XRP is creating or still looking like trying to complete some kind of larger wave 1, meaning that maybe XRP is still working in that 5th wave of some sort of a larger wave 1. I can count a triangle being created here, which can help offset some of the variability within this internal structure, because this itself looks like a 5-wave move into a wave 3. So this could be some kind of triangle being made here as well for XRP. It looks like the triangle ended here. And then we do have a pretty clean 5-wave move up here. So this can be concluding or has already concluded, or we can still extend that 5th wave a little bit further without too much ruining the overall look of this 5-wave structure. Or if you want to go back to what we originally anticipated, where this was the top of the move, this could also be deemed as a 3-wave structure. So if that's the case, this wave 1 is now complete and this move is going to be a bit shallow, whether it's going to be an expanded flat. Now you have 2 variations here because this B wave has already gone into that expanded B pocket zone, meaning that it has breached this origin wave 1, or the termination of that. Basically, you're looking for this origin of wave A to be broken, and we broke that line. And anything above this, you now have 2 different mode of correction options for how this could play out if we're seeing this as a sideways structure, which could be the running flat, which is a little bit less likely. It's less probable within the crypto markets, but we have seen them. Or a deeper 1-2 that is also similar in target for a larger 1-2 when we get into these regions here, because we're looking for a 1-2 pullback. pullback, right? So this can be deemed as a three-wave structure where we might have a WXY being built here, and then this could be the finally the impulse move that we're looking for this wave 2 that could breach this right here where this termination point of wave A is, and that'll give us the expanded flat idea, and from there we're looking for higher levels. And again, that also makes sense on the larger macro time frames, right? We are seeing that major resistance being played from this level here. So if you have been clickbaited into this video thinking that it is going to be a miracle breaking into it, maybe it will break up, and then if it breaks up, at least it's turned into support, resistance turned into support rather. But if we do get a rejection from these levels, no worries. This analysis now has proved that this is an expectation that we're going to get a small rejection on the shorter time frames, possibly as a flat of a 1-2. Then we can break out of that triangle where it's going to fool everyone into thinking that this is now going into the invalidation level for that triangle. So that is the way we're going to be seeing XRP, ladies and gentlemen. We are expecting a 1-2 of any degree to be playing out, whether as a flat or a little bit higher levels where we come up, get that 1-2 pullback and retest that support level, this trend line. And then eventually, as we break out to the upside, this level here of the green line is going to be the ultimate confirmation. So if you're looking for ultimate confirmation, that may be a better time to look for buying XRP, because it is pretty wildly you don't want to be day trading, that's for sure, but it is pretty wild in price action. So for those that are holding spot, nothing too much to report on really. We do have a clear 5-wave move up, or we have another 5th wave in price action to be created, and then we're looking for that 1-2 pullback. But either way, we have a long way to invalidate this triangle. We still need a 59% move to the downside to invalidate this triangle, so a long way to go. I don't think it's going to happen on the spot. But again, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully that was helpful. Once again, a quick reminder, we have that Patreon page if you want to see more videos. I'll be seeing you guys on Monday with another Bitcoin analysis. That will be the free video. But again, I hope to see you at Patreon, because I will be doing another Friday update for Bitcoin, and that is going to be based on our tier 2. And hopefully this is priced or structured fairly. This is pretty structured fairly. I did a little bit of my own research on how people are structuring it. So I do believe that this tier 2 is going to be the ultimate kind of value pack that everyone is looking for, especially if you found value in my videos. So thank you very much. I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow in our Patreon video as well. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a fantastic week. Bye bye.